it's Mary. I am glad you joined me today because we are talking about this and this and this. And if you are confused, I should also tell you that we are talking about this and this and this. So, codes. Codes are a system of words, letters, figures, or other symbols, including numbers, that we use to represent other words, letters, figures, or symbols. Why would we do this? Codes are used to communicate when you're unable to communicate by speaking or writing, or unable to do these things openly. So you might use a code when you want to communicate with someone who is a distance away from you or in the same room with you, but you don't want other people to intercept or understand what you're communicating. You may use a code because the person you're communicating with is partially sighted or blind, or you may use a code because the person or thing you're communicating with uses a different language than you or doesn't understand your language. So the first code we're going to talk about today is a cipher. And this is a cipher. So with a cipher, you replace one letter of the alphabet with another. And it's consistent, at least in this case, throughout the alphabet. Basically, you're sliding the alphabet over a little bit. And the difference between the letter you're using and the letter you mean is called the key. So in this case, I meant a C, but I used an E. And if you go from C to E, it's C, D, E. So that's a key of 2. So we're going to actually do some coding today. We are going to decipher a code that's a cipher. I made a chart with the letters and then the key, so I can show you what we've got going on here. So this is a cipher chart that I made, and it's probably a little hard to see, but we're going to try to look at it a little bit. So there it is. I've got the letters of the alphabet down the side, and I've got numbers across the top. So if you're moving it over 1, the A becomes a B. If you're moving it over 2, it becomes a C, on and on and on. So with a chart, that's one way to do a cipher. There's also a cipher wheel. So if we're going to do, they're starting off with the A and the A together. If we're going to use a key of, let's say, 5, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if it is a key of 5, if you see an F, an A is what's really meant. If you see a Y, a T is what's really meant. I put together a little cipher for us, and it is in a key of 5. So the way to figure out what this really is just to use either a chart or the cipher wheel, or just figure them out, is what I'm trying to say. So Y, we really want to go back 5. So right before Y is X, W, V, U, T. So T is what's meant there. But we can also just use the cipher wheel. And we're going to get to work on this. I'll start with you, then we'll pause, and then you can continue figuring it out. And if you want, if you don't want, you can just watch. And we'll see what we end up with. So Y, we already said was T. We look at the cipher wheel, M. M is H. J is E. And as you continue on, like if you see another Y, then you know that that's also a T. Another J, you know that's an E, so you can figure those things in as you go along. I'm going to pause for a minute, write that out better, and then we'll come back. You can decipher it and see what you come up with, and I'll let you know what I came up with. So I straightened that out a little bit, used the Cipher Wheel, and came up with a quote by Albert Einstein, and I have a printed page of it. So the sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination. That is a quote by Albert Einstein, and that was our cipher. So that was our first type of code. With the ciphers, sometimes people randomly insert letters, so it's not that the alphabet just continues through, it's that every letter you have to figure out what it is. And you use your knowledge of how language works. So like E is often the most common letter used, so you figure that the letter that's there a lot is an E, so you can substitute that and then just go word by word and figure out what they are. They can be a little challenging. They can get frustrating if you let them, but they're a lot of fun. They're called cryptograms. And if you really enjoy the cipher, you might like the cryptograms too. So Braille is the next code that we will talk about, and it is a system that is used for partially sighted or blind people. Braille is usually embossed, so dots are raised. What we're going to do today is just use the dot pattern and darken in the dots. So that is the Braille alphabet. We are just going to fill in those dots using the key to make words. Well, a word. And I think what we will do is just the word summer. So an S is this dot filled in, and that one, and that one, and then U is this one, this one, this one. All right, so I filled in the rest of the letters. So S-U-M-M-E-R, summer. So our last code we're going to talk about today is binary code. So binary code is used with computers, and it uses numbers to represent English letters. It's a 8-bit code, and it uses ones and zeros to represent all of the letters and numbers. So this, hopefully there it is the alphabet and some of the number code for it, for the different letters. So A through Z are there, and then the letter codes are there. I'm going to hold that there for a minute so you have the ability to take a look at that by pausing. And in addition to using it for computers, I used it to make this lovely bookmark. So I made green represent zeros and blue represent ones. I put a bigger space between the two different letters. I'll do a close-up so you get a little better look at that. So it's 0 1 1 0 1 1 0 1, and then 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. So if we look for 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. So that first letter is an M, and then the second letter is an S. So if I see somebody with this bookmark, I know their initials are MS. So I hope that you enjoyed that short introduction to codes, and that you take an opportunity to try out codes and see how you like them. There's a lot of information out there. Thank you so much, and have a great day.